I've come to the Hildebrand project seminar because I'm very interested in Hildebrand, and I was introduced to him by some professors in undergrad, and then just always took sort of a side interest. We'd read snippets of some of his works, particularly The Heart. But as I've become a professor, I've been so struck by how many of the questions that I'm interested in, such as the drama of the soul's choice, our human experience, and how that manifests so much of what is true in our Christian faith, really can be accessed very well by incorporating aspects of personalism into my lectures and my interactions with students. Well, I think by nature literature is personalist. It is an exploration of the way each human person encounters our common experience, right? So being in the world, being in time, being finite, infinite beings. So many of the questions and interests of personalism, particularly because it so focuses on the drama of the human person, how each person has a narrative that they're both participating in but developing, is really fleshed out in personalism. So I found that partly why I was so drawn to personalism was because Wojtyła, Hildebrand, all the others, Edith Stein, they have poetic souls, I think. And so they very implicitly and then also explicitly speak to the kind of imaginative work that a literature professor should be interested in, I think. The most important thing that I've learned at the Hildebrand project thus far, I think, is first of all, getting a more, dare I say, systematic understanding of some of the terms that are used so frequently within personalism, but also actually I've been so struck by how the professors engage us, how they answer questions, and how the whole setup for the conference, the seminar, has been, because it has such a personalist approach, right? So what we're studying is important, but also how we learn about it in community with each other. The fact that we have so much of an opportunity to share in conversation, in meals, over wine, so many of the ideas that we're thinking about together. And I think that's such a wonderful model for authentic scholarship and developing a network of thinkers as well. My favorite thing about the seminar thus far has actually been the personal interactions with everybody, both when we're not in the seminar room itself, but actually when we are studying together in the seminar room. Just the way the professors have been speaking with us and interacting with us, I've learned so much just from the way that they ponder questions. There's no ego in the way I've been finding. They're very interested in what we have to say, and the questions are very engaging and often speak not just from one position, but work really well for so many of us who come from so many different backgrounds and contexts. So that really gives a very personal approach to what we're studying, which is great. I would tell anyone who's thinking about attending the Hildebrand seminar that it can really open up your eyes to the richness of what Christianity offers to all people, regardless of their religious position or persuasion, because it really offers us such a rich understanding of the human condition, the drama of human experience, and then also places it shows what a central interest the human person is to Christianity. And I think that that's something that so many people don't understand, especially from the outside of Christianity. And even within, I think it's very important to show that, Christ's whole ministry was person to person, speaking to people's hearts. Heart speaks to heart, to paraphrase Newman. And that's something that just really strikes me about this session, and also that it is very rigorous as well, but in such a way that, there's an opportunity to really work through and think through these concepts over a period of 4 days. It's a great privilege and lots of fun. So my sense of what Christian personalism is thus far, and I'm still very much a novice in this area, but one thing that I think is so important about Christian human personalism is thinking about the role of the heart in coming to understand ourselves and how we come to know the world. What actually is the heart? So amongst various things, it certainly struck me that it has much to do with the moral law, actually, and I think many people who are sometimes a bit hesitant about what personalism is, or in some of my Thomist closest friends who have been asking me about personalism, they say, it's subjective. It could border on relativity, but that's actually not the case. I found it so interesting to see how important it is to have an authentic, examination of the moral life and see how it is actually written in our hearts. And that's something that I think Christian personalism does in such a beautiful way, because it integrates the intellectual and the affective aspects of the human person so well. And in terms of its future, I hope, that there are many futures for it in various ways. And I think that it is so, part of it, the testimony to how authentically human and true it is, I think, is that it can be applied in so many different facets. And, an elementary classroom to, professors work in whatever particular scholarly field they're in, to the work of, people just in their everyday jobs, businesses, raising families. I have friends who read personalism and think about it as they develop their family life. So I just hope that it opens up in various ways. So I wouldn't necessarily predict, and I think that's what's exciting about it.